Burna Boy catching backlash. And I get it. There's always been this underlying issue between Black Americans and Africans. When Africans come here and when Black Americans go to Africa, we truly realize that we are the same. We're all very flashy. Most of us are loud. Most of us are aggressive. We're very family oriented. We're each one, teach one type situation. You got them shoes, I want them too. You got that purse, you want them too. And everybody cook the same dishes. How your macaroni and cheese taste? How your macaroni and cheese taste? We're the fucking same. We can own businesses. It can say you're open at 9. Bitch ain't open until 12. You got to call somebody standing at the door talking about, are you open today? I'm at the house. I'll be there in an hour. Can you wait on me? What the fuck? Like, I'm telling you. Why the fuck are you apologizing for saying that Black Americans need to know where they come from? You do. You're saying that we don't have culture. We have culture that we adopted, and being descendants of slaves who were brought over here from Africa. But for him to receive backlash saying that Black Americans lack culture, Black Americans, whether we want to acknowledge it, our base is fucking Africa, period. And that's all he was saying. If Black Americans went home and understood where they came from, then we would be more prosperous as a people. But because we're at odds with Africans, and we're like, oh, we're not African, we're not, this is the fuck you are. You got niggas around here still running around, some of them American Indian. How the let's be honest. You still Black. Just like when a white person is fucking a nigga, you still Black. You are Black, Indian, white, but your base is Africa. Like, well, why is he receiving backlash when anybody that's doing music, he's bridging it? Because yes, they're saying, well, he's sampling for more art from American artists that he claims have no culture. He's bridging the Black American music with African music, and that's why he's selling out stadiums around the world. And half of y'all worried about, oh, they coming over here to get a green card. Go get your green card in Africa. Y'all need to go home. I'm telling you, y'all will have so much fun. I see so many Black Americans moving over to South Africa and they living good, buying $200,000 mansions. But house help, but same motherfucking houses they selling for 15, 20 million in goddamn LA. They buying that shit for $200,000, showing up to work late. Bitch, mortgage is paid off. Moving on.
I'm here with a good content creator and a brother as well. Kindly introduce yourself.
Hello guys, my name is Evans Rayola on YouTube, and you want to go check out my work too.
Yeah, that's Evans Rayola is the name of the channel, right?
Yeah, sure, bro.
Okay, so today we've noticed a number of things, and it's been a privilege because we've met some Black Americans together. We've actually dined with them. We've had breakfast with them. We've also done a lot of things. We also have friends who are Black Americans. But now there is something that I need us to confirm quite well. And I have noticed many Africans are forgetful of this, because we forget that Black Americans are not Africans. They are not Africans. And Brother Evans, I'm going to start with you. All right?
Yeah.
So, what is your perspective? What differences do you think exists between Africans and the African Americans?
The first thing that actually surprised me is you putting it out clear that Black Americans, or rather African Americans, are not Africans.
Yes.
That's the first thing you've mentioned. And I think I'd want to understand why you said that even before we proceed, because according to what I know, mm-hmm. and what I've learned mm-hmm. online, and even while I was in school, is the fact that they have their ancestry rooting back in Africa.
Yes.
So in a way, I'd say they're Africans who just shifted and moved to the West, and they were forcefully moved out of Africa.
Yeah, sure.
So I feel they have their roots in Africa. So if you'd ask me who Black Americans are, I'd say they're Africans who are taken outside of Africa forcefully as slaves. But now the generation that we have now in Africa, the Black Americans the generation we have in the US, the Black Americans who are in the US right now, they are Americans, but they root in Africa. Yeah, some of them may not have passed through the slavery and all that thing. Yeah, but now I'd say they're Africans, man, because of their history, that is.
So your argument is based on African Americans are Africans.
Yeah.
But you know, we have African Americans and then we have Black Americans.
Yeah, I get you.
You might find somebody, let's say I'm a Black American. Today I might decide to be called a Black American. Another day I might decide to be called an African American, based on my mood. You understand?
Yeah.
I kind of noticed there is some kind of conflict between Africans and African Americans. Many times I have heard people complaining and people saying Africans are not liked by African Americans. African Americans have been saying as well that Africans don't like us. I always try and ask myself, why do we have this bone of contention? The bone of contention, I think, Brother Evans, exists because when you look at the history of these two people are very much different.
I get you.
The Africans have faced colonialism, which the Black Americans did not. The Africans colonialism. The African Americans have faced what we call slavery. You understand?
Yeah.
You know, we had an end to the mass colonialism. We had an end to it. But I believe we still have slavery going on, but in the subconscious, in the Americas. You understand?
Yeah. It could be through probably the racism, the systematic one.
The systematic racism?
Yeah. Because
racism is embedded in the government.
Sure.
That's a high level of discrimination, and racism was birthed out of slavery. I mean, slavery is what racism is what birthed slavery. They wanted something that would suppress their positive consciousness so that they would continue doing harm. And for this reason, in order to dislocate the cognitive dissonance, which is a kind of discomfort when your mind is at a junction or at a crossroads, your mind decides you are at, should I be doing this or should I be doing this not? Now, they were torn between doing the right thing, which was supporting the Africans and not becoming rich, or suppressing the Africans and becoming rich. So they had to invent racism. Racism was invented to kill that consciousness and to override the thought of humanity, and that's why we have slavery. Africans, on the other hand, we have tried to maintain our culture, we've maintained our tradition, we've maintained our ways of living, but I don't think the Black Americans have done this. I'm not saying this in the wrong way, but apart from the Black Americans don't have that solid culture like the one you find in Africa. They really don't have that. And when African Americans are in Africa, Africans still take them as white people. I remember our friend.
Yeah.
So this friend, some people are calling him Mzungu. Just imagine. That shows us how much disconnected we are. We are trying to connect the bridges, but it will take time, it will take work. Imagine an African calling an African American Mzungu.
Which means a white person.
Yes. So that is part of my argument why I say Africans are not African Americans. Africans still don't confirm with them as one. Even when we hear how they talk, we still don't accept them. Because when we accept them, we don't call them Mzungu. I think it's something gradual, something that will take time to be birthed over the years and over the coming later days.
But now I just want to give a little bit of an insight to what you just mentioned. I think the reason as to why Black people in Africa still haven't conformed to the Black Americans who come to Africa, the reason as to why they call them Zungu and all these names, is because they may be speaking differently, and you know that native African who's not exposed would always think that somebody who has a different accent is from the US, or rather from any Western country.
Yeah.
If
sure.
I was to go to the US for 2 years, come back to Africa, speak differently, they'd say I'm Zungu, you know, because of the way I speak. So in the recent past, Africans have started opening doors to Black Americans, you know.
Yeah, we've seen many countries.
Many countries are
being
accepting,
visa-free.
yeah, accepting Black Americans to come back to the motherland, you know.
Yeah.
And right now, Africans who are not exposed are starting to see them coming. That's why there is a drift, and people are feeling like, yo, these people are Mzungu, they are different, you know, because there wasn't a time in our history before in Africa that Black Americans were accepted back into the motherland, you know. But right now, the more they come, the more African countries open up visas for free for Black Americans, then Africans will start associating with them. We'll start having this talk. Then people will get to learn slowly but steadily that they are our brothers and sisters.
Sure.
The only thing that is missing right now is the exposure. Most of us are not exposed. I once worked at the airport. I'm a good example of this. Straight after college, I worked as a tour consultant at Jomo Kenyatta International Airport here in Nairobi, Kenya. And I used to serve a lot of guests there. And the one funny thing that I knew at that time is that once somebody is Black, they are Kenyan or African maybe. So I serve people in the desks. People come, asks me questions. They'd want to book a safari. They'd want to be done transfers from the airport to their hotel. They'd want choices of hotels and all those things that a tour consultant can do. Then there's this Black lady who looks like me. She walks in and I start speaking Swahili, and I continued like speaking like for a minute, and she was looking at me surprised. And she mentioned later that I do not understand what you're saying, bro. And she was using the British accent. Then I was like, yo, not all Black people are actually Kenyans or Africans. She does not understand the language I'm using, you know. And you get to learn from there that people are different. The exposure. I was exposed working as a tour consultant at the airport. Before that, I never knew, believe you me. You could have that in mind, but in a way, it just shuts you off. You tend to feel like every Black person is like you, and that's the mistake we are doing as the Black people in Africa. The only solution will be Black Americans moving back to the motherland and us interacting. Then we can be able to know that we're actually having the same history. We were birthed in the same land. Our forefathers could be the same as you. We are cousins, we are brothers, we are sisters. Yeah, it's deeper than what people feel.
Now, me saying African Americans are not Africans is not being rooted out of hate or anything. But there was this brother who was also in USA. He was complaining that African Americans really hate on the Africans while they are in the United States of America. Because there is this video that was trending online. It was about, this man was saying Africans are succeeding in the United States of America than the African Americans. And this perhaps is what brings a bone of contention. My side of story, Evans' side is different from mine. But same coin, different sides. So what happens is, why do we have a bone of contention? Why don't we just accept to each other as one people? Believe me if I tell you this, Evans, there's a bone of contention between Africans and African Americans. I have seen it, I have felt it, I've seen it through other people's speech, I've seen it through other people's videos. You see, when we want to become one person, there's one thing we should understand. We should let go of all those past things which happened. You understand? When those Africans who are in the United States of America should understand one thing. That is the land of the black people, the white people, and other races. The black people helped very much in the creation of that country. Even you as a black person to go and work there, it's because this black American ensured through his blood and sweat that black people can be able to come there and work.
Sure.
Now, perhaps there is that bragging, that Africans are bragging, oh, we are doing better than you and we are from Africa. That is one thing they are forgetting, and perhaps this is what African Americans are pissed.
So guys, I was saying it's time that you all book that flight ticket, do a research of a country in Africa that can actually work for you, because these countries have different constitutions, you know. If you want to invest, there are countries which are better in terms of investment. There are some countries which are better in terms of retirement. Get to do your research well, choose one country, fly to that country, go sit there even for like 30 days, and then get to judge if indeed you can stay in Africa or not. Then from there, you can always know if you want Africa or not, because the few people that I know who came to Africa just to see, they are right now retirees in Africa, and right now they have long-term residence in Africa, and they have actually bought property and are staying peaceful with their parents, guys. So I dare you all to come to Africa. Come to our land, man. Africa is ours.
So that was my friend Evans. Kindly check out Evans Rayola's channel. Its name is Evans Rayola, right?